So to start things off, tell me, who is Jaron Nixon? I know obviously you're a CEO and you ran for the Wine Dance School Board. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hmm. Okay, well, I'm a Wanditch alumni,
Mhm.
graduated class of 94. Shout out to my people. Um, I'm very passionate about the community. I come from a music business background. Like I have a degree in music business from Five Towns. Yeah, so that's why my background really is entertainment. So, I've been close to wine dance, but since being in that type of lane that has taken me on journeys and stuff, different experiences, but what it gave me the opportunity to do is learn from some of the most, powerful, creative, unique people that's out there in the business world, not just music, just business in general. So what I wanted to do when I finally got the opportunity to start this company finally is find a way to include the community, but also be able to have a platform to where it can go nationally, to where we can kind of bring more notoriety back to Long Island, back to the community, to maybe get more people interested in what's going on with the political side of things in the community. You know what I mean? Maybe create a bigger voice with our platform. So I've been blessed to be able to get this far with it, you know what I mean? In like a 2-year span, it's only just God's blessing, you know what I mean? To be able to be here with that. So I just want to continue to grow the platform. I created scholarships last year to give to 3 students and 3 of my mentors' names that passed away from COVID last year from Wine Dance. So right now I'm just basically doing events, working with different charities. Like I worked with Cerebral Palsy, I worked with Red Cross, just trying to come up with events the way I can keep continuing to donate a percentage of the proceeds from these events into those scholarships.
Arm wrestling is such a unique and it's an upcoming sport. What made you want to create this space for arm wrestling, and who is it for particularly?
Well, the crazy thing about it is I've followed arm wrestling like many other people have. So there was like I said in other interviews, there was a Sylvester Stallone movie called Over the Top years ago. It was an okay movie, wasn't the best movie, but it was a pop culture phenomenon. You know what I mean? It just took the sport of arm wrestling to a national and global level just by Stallone making a movie about it. Once I actually thought about getting into the sport of arm wrestling at this level of my life, you know what I mean? I followed it. It was on TV, but when I watched it on TV, it didn't look sexy. It wasn't marketable. You know what I mean? And that was real key for me. I'm like, if it's going to get back, it has to be sexy. It has to appeal to you. It has to appeal to me. It didn't appeal to our culture. And right now, our culture is the #1 culture demographic in the world. You know what I mean? It's time that people acknowledge the power that we have in influence and impact in this world. But first, it starts with us acknowledging that. You know what I mean? But acknowledging it in a way that it means more than just having material things.
So, as I told you, I was watching some videos of the matches, and it's very intense. It's a very competitive atmosphere at the matches. You even told me, well, and I saw that girls are arm wrestling too. So, tell me, what are some special skills or techniques that are being used during these arm wrestling matches?
Really, it's leverage, grip. Grip is really the main thing, and your leverage and your stance. You really have to, it's almost like dancing. It's almost like a dance to where you have to keep your feet steady, but you have to have leverage. You have to make sure one leg is in front of the other. Your elbow has to kind of stay as straight as possible, because if it doesn't, it'll be called the elbow foul. So it's really about grip, leverage, balance, and as much torque you can get, immediate torque.
Yeah, that's one girl, she did, there's 3, 2, 1, she just boom, hit it down.
Yeah, that's why I like it. So it's all really about your stance and your grip and your technique, because as soon as the ref lets go, you're going at it, and it can happen, like you said, in a split second. You have to be prepared and ready to go, but you really have to train, because you can really break your arm or something in a split second. So it really is about your technique. You really have to practice techniques, and there's several techniques in arm wrestling. Like people wouldn't think that. People would think you just grip the hand and go, but it's really about technique. A lot of people grip the thumb. That's why you see referees take a lot of time to, they'll have them clench thumbs first and then lock their fingers, because guys are wrestling for position just at that moment, because like you said, a pin can happen in a split second. So you have to be ready as soon as he takes his hand off of yours to go. So like I said, it's a unique sport. I love watching it, you know what I'm saying? And I love watching people started from new and compete and grow in it. That's been very, very, very exciting to watch.
So I saw that they had the option to use the strap. So what does that do, and how can that help or hurt the wrestler?
Oh, well, the strap is what they use when, I don't know if you've seen, like sometimes when a gentleman or women, they're arm wrestling and they're locked in, they're using so much torque and so much pressure trying to keep the grip to get the pinfall that sometimes you may see their hands slip away from one another. So if that happens, we get the strap. They'll strap their hands in. That way, there's no more slipping. We want to see a win. We want to see a pinfall. So we're going to strap their hands in tight and just let them go till someone wins. You do not have the option to slip out of that grip and start it all over again.
Now, do they put, is there chalk on the table that they put on their hands?
Yes. They put chalk on the table and on their hands, almost similar to like a gymnast for grip.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you know, with the gripping, they can sweat. So they try to keep some on the table. That way they can immediately put it on their hands to dry up the sweat. And definitely before they hit the table, they make sure they get enough powder on as possible.
One of the great things about arm wrestling is that you can do it anywhere. So I've seen that you had some matches in the basement and even at Dick's Sporting Goods in the mall. So what goes into the thought process of where you decide to hold the matches or the tournaments?
That's a good question right there. To me, a lot, because like I said, I come from like a music business background. So, you know, that means I basically was like throwing parties and concerts and stuff like that growing up. So with me, I take a lot of that into the thinking I use for like a location. I try to create like maybe not a club atmosphere too much, but a sexy enough vibe to where it can attract people off the street that want to come inside, take a look at what's going on, and maybe show some interest. So I like to use maybe like a club. You know what I mean? Maybe I could turn it into something, you know, my own atmosphere, put my own spin on it. As it grows, probably some theaters, maybe boxing gyms. I'm looking into doing that more, collaborating with a couple of boxing promoters that show interest, and maybe doing some joint collabo events with them, you know. So yeah, like boxing gyms. But yeah, even I wanted to do something in the park, you know, in the summertime, maybe have a couple of events or practices in the park. Like you said, the luxury I have with this is you can do it anywhere.
You mentioned that you had some big names at one of your events at the Dick's Sporting Goods event, I think.
Yeah. Actually, we've been blessed as like some of the biggest names in the sport have supported us. You know what I mean? The Paul Lynns, Mikey Aiello, Steve Black. These guys are some of the biggest names in the sport when it was at its peak. You know what I mean? So, and when there was a reality show called Game of Arms, it was a reality show based around the sport of arm wrestling that actually kind of took off. I think they did about 2 seasons, I'm not sure, but in the arm wrestling community, it meant everything. And it made stars out of a lot of the guys. I've been fortunate to meet and work with those guys. So those guys have been, mentoring me, tutoring me, helping me build my brand, supporting me, you know what I mean? So those guys, they support every event I go to, you know what I mean? And that gives me so much credibility, you know what I mean? So I don't take that for granted, and I appreciate their support because like I said, it gives me so much credibility as a fresh face in this sport, but as a fresh black face in this sport. To have their backing, it means everything. So like I said, I don't take that for granted. I know I'm blessed to be able to be like a vessel between the culture and this sport. You know, I understand where I'm at with it. You know, I understand it's a slippery slope and a balance that I have to, walk and tread very thinly on, you know what I mean? So I do understand that, but again, I just appreciate some of the guys that really just publicly support me, don't care about any type of backlash, because, you know, I'm a black man in their world. So, you know, like I said, I just appreciate everybody that supports me and understands what I'm trying to do with bridging the gap between the sport, the community, and a lot of guys really want to tap into the community and give back. So that's what I appreciate the most out of everybody that's really been behind us, is their passion to want to be involved in the prison reform program that we're creating, the mentorship program, you know, their excitement for it. So I'm just happy to be able to provide that platform. You know, that's what I'm getting joy out of.
So last but not least, tell us about any upcoming events you have and how the fans can support or even participate in the arm wrestling match.
Okay. Well, even if fans are, like I said, novice men and women or young children off the street, if they do want to participate, like I said, we do hold practice every Wednesday night in Deer Park. And they could just come, start learning about the sport, educate themselves, ask any questions that they may want to have. Like I said, we have instructors there, Daniel and Leslie, ready, willing, and able to instruct anybody interested in the sport of arm wrestling. I'm putting together a couple of events this summer. Like I said, we just had the barbecue practice last night. We'll probably do something similar, like a pool party style. But there's a lot of events that other promoters have going on that's already locked in that we sponsor. So we actually just came back from Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago sponsoring an event. And there's another one coming up, I think next month, in Queens that we're sponsoring. But there's a big tournament in Pennsylvania, the Keystone Tournament and Championships, that we're going out to sponsor and support. I'm blessed right now that Getty Images right now has been following me around for maybe about a month now. So they're doing like a documentary on my journey with the company.
That's cool.
So it's been going on for about a month, but they're following me all the way up till the end of October. You know what I mean? It's like a 6-7 month just behind the scenes, watching me just build the company up and watching it expand. So that's been very exciting, just seeing the evolution of this story. You know what I mean? We only been a month in, and it's already been the first part of it's been published in London already.
Wow.
So yeah, so like I said, like a lot of people love the story of the company. You know what I mean? The mission, what we're about, like that. We've been blessed, like I said, to be Newsday, ABC, Newsweek, and all that stuff. Be featuring all of that. So, like I said, it's a family affair. We're all trying to work together to create the ultimate blueprint and platform that can get it back on TV nationally.